All right, what's up? This is B to the Bhillz, and this is Bhillz live from the basement, brought to you by Quality Music Management and Worldwide Collaborations. We got a special guest today, Southside Queen. So for the people that just now getting familiar with you and stuff, tell people a little bit about like what you do, where you from, and we'll start with that.
I'm originally from Jackson County, Ohio. I now live in North Carolina. I've been here almost 3 years. I do music, modeling, write books, and write poetry. I sing and I write. I have eight wonderful children that are my world, and I do it all for them.
That's what's up. So what was it that what age were you whenever you first started, getting into what was it that what was because you named a few things that you do what was the first thing that you started? Where was it music or modeling or acting? Like what was the first
Actually, my very first thing was writing a book. I wrote my first book at the age of 6. It was through my therapy, my counseling. They had me write my first book. And then from there, it just kind of inspired me to keep going with the poetry. And then from there, it just led to the singing and the writing.
damn, so you wrote your first book at the age of 6?
Yes.
That's pretty dope. That's cool. So, do you still have the book?
Actually, no. When I moved from Ohio to North Carolina, I had it on the storage unit. And unfortunately, I lost it when I moved.
Yeah, it sucks. I've had that happen too. It sucks. I hate storages because it's like a trap.
Yeah. Well, I
So
moved
so
from a whole different state, so it was hard to get back home to go get my stuff.
yeah. I'm from Texas. I just moved out here to Missouri about like 7 months ago. So it's definitely different. How what was it that made you start wanting to do music, and how old were you whenever you started wanting to make music and stuff?
Actually, my grandparents started my music career. I started singing in church and choir. Then I started performing and dancing in church and in different um, kids camps and stuff, Bible schools. Also, they would turn music on like Shania Twain or somebody that they knew that I would love and I would get into. They would blare it and then make me sing it in the back seat. My grandma used to catch me all the time with a hairbrush in my hand on her bed, just singing away in the mirror.
That's what's up. What were what what were some of the first artists that you remember like listening to that really inspired you, or like that, what I
My
mean?
very first artist shocks everybody. It's Selena.
Why
Um,
does that shock? Selena's
I
a great
watched,
artist, you
yes,
know?
I watched her movie Selena, and it really inspired me. I didn't have the siblings and I didn't have the family or nothing like that, like everybody else usually does, but it was the passion that she had for what she did, and she stood up
Yeah,
for what she wanted.
yeah, for sure. So so what projects do you have out right now that or what projects are you working on and stuff like that? Like what tell people a little bit about like the type of music that you make and stuff for the people that aren't really familiar, so they can kind of get an idea of the type of artist and stuff that you are.
I honestly do a little bit of everything. I do country rap, hip hop, R&B. I do inspirational. I do Christian. I do gospel. I do pretty much anything. My favorite, however, is either going to be country rap or the Christian inspirational because I can feel those beats better. Um,
Yeah.
Me and music is more of a spiritual thing than anything. It's helped me through a lot.
So what
Project wise, I have my big show coming up with Stormy Lee and Kelsey Lynn, the 420 Bash. I'm freaking ecstatic, over the moon. It's a 3-day event that's going down in Grayson, Kentucky.
that's
LFG,
what's up.
can't wait.
Yeah, that's what's up. So so what kind of sorry, I was trying to share this shit out. But so what kind of mind state do you like to be in whenever you make music? Like some artists like strive whenever like through stressful kind of situations, and some artists like whenever you make your music, do you feel like you make better music whenever you're kind of like maybe you're going through something and you're using it as like a way to cope, as a mechanism? Or do you feel like you make your best music whenever you're in a stress-free, happy environment and you ain't got nothing on your mind but just trying to make music? Like, what environment works?
I use my music for therapy. I'm a recovering addict. Um, been clean now 6.5 years. I'm freaking so excited and proud of myself. I use it
Congratulations.
for, thank you. I use it for coping. I use it for everything. If I'm having a bad day, I write, I sing. If my day's going great, I write, I sing. Like, I don't really have a preference. I just, every day I do 4 to 6 songs. I lay 4 to 6 songs down. I have over 400 songs wrote and ready to go. So when I do take off, I'm going to blow up.
Yeah. So you said how many songs?
I have over 400 wrote.
Oh, you got 400 songs wrote. Damn. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
when I go, I'm going big. I'm just waiting.
You might as well just make songs for you and ghostwrite with all those songs and stuff. So what kind of what kind of songs do you mentioned, like a lot of different kind of genres and stuff that you dip in and stuff with your music, but what kind of, like, for a first time artist and stuff, like, what would you sum up, like, what can they expect from listening to your music? Like, what can they get from it?
They're definitely going to get a feeling from anything that I sing, because I put my whole heart and soul into my music. I will not write anything that I cannot feel. Before I lay a song down, I pray. I make sure that what I'm putting down is exactly what it's supposed to be before I
Yeah.
lay it down. And I wait for a
So
sign before I write.
that's what's up. That's what's up. So what, like, in the next, like, year, 2 years, like, where do you, like, see yourself, like, what, because you mentioned a lot of things that you do in a jack of all trades and stuff like that. But, like, if you could pick one to really focus on and to really, like, put your energy towards, because, especially having 8 kids, I'm sure you're busy, a lot, and doing a lot of stuff, so, like, what would be
And
the
that's
one?
exactly why I have dove into everything, because I want to make sure, me being a single mom, I have a lot on my plate. It's
Yeah,
not easy by no means. I get no help at all. But that's why I'm doing everything that I do, because at the end of the day, when I'm gone, they got to have something to survive. And it's up to me to make it happen.
yeah, yeah, and that's a beautiful
So I'm
thing,
doing everything
definitely.
I possibly can in this world to make sure and ensure that my kids are good, because I don't
Yeah,
want them to have the same fucked up life that I had. I don't.
yeah, yeah. So, so whenever, like, what do you feel like is more important as for an artist? Like, let's say, like, an artist who's coming up and stuff, that, like, let's say if they were going to do a song, do you think it's more important to get your money up front, or not even with a song, just anything, do you feel like it's better to get?
Absolutely not. No. Do
You
not
said
worry about
no?
the money. And me and people go at it daily, every day for this thing. People, so many people are caught up in the bag. Okay, you
Yeah,
cannot forget what you're doing and why you're doing it.
yeah,
Money is just a tool. That is it. It is not a goal. It is not a destination.
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
you could
what I
be
was gonna
sitting or sleeping on somebody that is the perfect talent that you need, but you are going to sleep on them because they ain't got the bag.
yeah.
You see what I
Well,
mean?
like,
Like, you got to stop and think about that. You got to think about their art first. It's more about their art, their ethic, everything like that. Then worry about the money later.
yeah. Well, we'll get into that. But what I was asking you though is, do you feel like it's more important to get the money up front or to get the money on the back end? Like, basically, like, what I mean is, like, let's say if you're gonna do a song, and would you think it's better to get paid up front, or do you think it'd be better to get points, so that way, because you could get your money up front and know that this is what you're gonna get and move on, or not get anything up front, but and the points might be worth more in the long run, because, like you were saying, having your kids and stuff, that's something that you could pass down to your children. You know what I'm saying? So which one do you feel
Exactly.
like is more important? The
I
points?
feel like wait. On anything in life, don't ever take the first jump. That's
Like,
something
don't
I've
take the
learned.
payout. Yeah.
Yeah, don't
But
ever take that first leap. Just wait a
but I
minute.
But yeah, like, but what you were talking about with the money and shit, I completely agree with that. Because I feel like a lot of these artists, and you can see the people that do it. Because they're the people that if they're like, there's people that just do this, like, what I mean, make music, they do whatever they're doing because, and they don't care about getting paid about it because they're just doing it because they love to do it. But then you see people that the only reason why they're doing it is for money, and if there wasn't any kind of chance of getting any money, they wouldn't be doing this. They'd be doing something else. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of artists and stuff, like I be feeling like a lot of these artists be wanting to charge for collabs, and I be seeing it all up in the chats and all, everybody just trying, especially now, everybody trying to just get money and stuff. And the thing is though, is like these artists, I ain't never even heard of them. Like, what I'm saying? Like, how you go charge $100, $300 for a feature, and I ain't never even, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, what I
they
don't understand
delusional.
is why do they charge? Why do they charge you for slots? You got to pay to play, but then you also have to sell your tickets. That's
Yeah,
double jeopardy.
yeah, that's true.
You
Oh, you
can't
talking about
have
with
both.
shows
You
and
can't have
stuff?
your cake and eat it too. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. That's a proven fact in life.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
like
either
out
you're going
here,
to pay up front or you're going to have me pay for the tickets. One of the two. I'm not doing both.
yeah, you talking about like performing shows and stuff?
Yeah, like they are
Yeah,
horrible about that. They will
yeah.
charge people to
Well,
pay
like,
to play, and I'm like, no,
yeah.
no,
Well,
that's
like
dirty business. I don't care what anybody
what
says. It's dirty business.
what I feel like the right way to do with that is because, like, of course, like, what I mean, you got to think about the venue and stuff, and the money and things that they're providing. You know what I'm saying? Like the stage, the
Mm-hmm.
equipment and stuff like that. But at the same time, so I don't really have like a problem with paying to perform, but if it's like, but not pay for the tickets too, because like out here in St. Louis, a lot of times what they do is it'll be like $75 for the show or something, and it'll be like a big festival, but then they give you like $350 in tickets, for free, that
Right.
you sell the tickets. So then, what I mean, that makes sense, because then it's like people, they're gonna go and they're gonna try to hustle up their 350, so they're gonna sell the tickets and they're
Exactly.
gonna
It
bring
gives
people
them
in.
something to work toward. It gives them
Yeah,
something to work toward.
yeah, but
And that's what it all should be about.
yeah, because a lot of a lot of this shit is stuff is, it's like people, it's like they get into the industry, and then they have people do these things to them, like they fall in these little traps, have people, and then they learn, and they're like, okay, I know not to do that now. But instead of like being like, yo, to the next people and be like, yo, look, don't do the same shit I did. You know what I mean? Instead they're like, oh, now I'm gonna do those same things to these people and profit off of
Mm-hmm.
these people. You know what I'm saying? That's why,
Mm-hmm.
like, even with like my show, like, I don't charge nobody for interviews. I don't charge nobody to play their music, because I think that this is a good platform, because it's like for artists to coexist. You know what I mean? Because every
Yeah.
time you see artists talking or anything, it's always beefing or it's always some drama bullshit. You know what I mean? And this is just like
Right.
a
And
free
you don't want that.
platform.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
You don't want it.
And just like, you know what I mean? Like I know, like, I've had artists and stuff that we did interviews, and I know like they didn't feel like it got the views or whatever that they wanted, but that's on them, because like I was just saying earlier, I was like, like whenever somebody wants to do an interview, I do the flyer, just like how I, sent you the flyer, and
Yep.
I've been seeing you've been posting it, promoting it. You know what I mean? And that's
Mm-hmm.
what you should do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I'm
Right.
giving you the
You
tools to
can't
do it.
expect someone to do your job for you. That it
Yeah,
doesn't happen nowhere in
yeah.
life. You
So
have to put in the work. You have to put in the work.
yeah. So so you're the new projects that you caught coming out and stuff. You mentioned that you be doing a lot of different like genres and stuff. Is it gonna be like a multi-genre album, like a multi-genre
Yes.
project? Yeah, that's what's
Yes.
up.
My kids are on a couple of my songs, and I just shot 2 music videos yesterday with my children in them. So I'm very excited for this chapter because
That's
they're
cool.
involved with my music. It's not just me.
Yeah, and that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's good, and it's bringing memories. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I could. I wish I had memories like that of, like, you know what I'm saying, some Partridge
Well,
Family
see, and
shit.
that's exactly why I'm doing it. That is exactly why I'm doing it, because I don't have those memories.
Yeah,
I made my own memories growing up. I want
yeah,
to make memories with my kids. I don't want them to have to make their own memories.
yeah.
I refuse.
So so since this is presented by Worldwide Collaborations and stuff, so what how long have you been a member of Worldwide Collaborations?
Um, oh Lord, I know it's been a little over a year. I've been rolling with them. It's been a while.
So what was it that got you interested, or how did you become a member of Worldwide Collaborations?
Young Jay, family shout out. I love you,
Yeah,
Young.
yeah, Young Jay's awesome. He's gonna be on my album. We got because we made a song a while ago called Monsters. I don't know if you ever heard it, but it was like I don't know, like it was
He
a while
told me
ago.
you all were working on it. Yeah, he told me
Yeah,
about that.
it was like 3-4 months ago. But I'm gonna redo the song and put it on my album where it's just like me and him and do a different beat and stuff. Because whenever he sent me that song, I didn't have access to a studio or nothing, so I just recorded some shit on
Right.
BandLab and sent it back to him. But anything that's on my actual album, I don't want to like nothing against that. There's a lot of good
Right.
quality music on, but it's just me personally. Like I'd rather just know, you know what I mean, that it came from, you know what I mean, like because
Well, see, and
I can
that's why
tell.
I'm holding off on a lot of my music because I'm still trying to link up with studio and stuff like that around here. Because, like I said, I'm still learning my ropes around here.
Yeah,
But as soon as I can get into a studio, then I'm going to start releasing one right
yeah.
after the other. It's just a matter of getting everything lined up.
Yeah. My recommendation would be like instead of like trying to find a studio, I would just try to kind of like set up something yourself, you know what I mean? Like so that way, especially having all your kids and stuff, so that way you could be able to, do it on your own time and stuff because it's really I mean,
I wish, but I don't know how to do the technical stuff. Like I don't know how to do all the sound techniques. I just know how to
yeah,
sing and write and make it look pretty. That's it.
yeah. But if you could get a programmer, you could just record it, then you could just record your vocals and then you could email them to somebody. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
let them
yeah.
mix it and shit.
I have talked to a few people about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
because there's a lot of people, especially like worldwide collaborations. There's a lot of people in there that would just do it just to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
there's definitely gonna be a lot of people. You're gonna have to fight off the vultures at first that are all gonna be like, "I got you for this much," and do blah blah blah. It's like,
Yeah, I have dealt with so much. Like it is ridiculous how
like,
many people try to scam people. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
And I mean, I understand that it's like everybody got their price, everybody got to make their money, everybody got to do their thing. But it's just like I said earlier, it's like you can tell the people that if there wasn't no money involved, they wouldn't be in this business. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm not in it to try to make money because I like honestly like artists and stuff that if you come in here trying to make money and they're not gonna last. They don't last because the first few years you ain't gonna make shit. You go starve to death. You know what I mean? You gotta come in here and just do this because you love to
Exactly.
do it. And then later on, you
Right.
know what I mean? You go get yours and shit. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because people they don't want
That's
to
what
put
I
in the
tell them all
work.
the time. You come in with the wrong mindset, you are going to leave with the wrong mindset. Like it's just not going to work.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. My bad. I was just reading some of these comments. I guess it's just tagging
You
people.
could.
But so so what else do you have like that's in the works and stuff for people to, what I mean, look forward to the people to, what I mean, start.
Um Well, me and David Littman, which is also another worldwide collab fam, shout out.
Yeah. Shout out Dr.
Him and
Tank.
I are working on a cartoon type ordeal series with me and my kids. I'm anxious to see how well this pulls off and how well it takes off.
That sounds
I
dope.
also have a movie documentary that I'm working on with Lifetime for me and my family also. So I mean, I do
That's
have
cool.
big projects coming up. They're just scattered just like me in my life.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that though. As long as you just keep going, you know what I'm saying? As long as you keep moving forward, you ain't moving backwards. That's all that matters, you know?
Just always busy. I'm always on my toes. So that's all that matters.
Yeah. So so what else would you like to kind of like, I mean, I guess you said that you're an author. What about any book projects? Or you feel like, I mean, I know that like I'm because you be doing a lot and you got so many kids, and so it's like, I understand, like, of course, like there's only 24 hours in a day, but do you
Right.
have any ideas for any upcoming books, any projects, anything like that, or do you kind of just want to focus on music?
Um, I actually about 2 weeks ago I finished my last children's book that I wrote. So I'll be publishing it next month. It'll be ready to be released. And then I get
That's
thinking I'm
awesome.
going to take a minute off of that and focus more on the music and the modeling. And then go back to the writing in the book because it seems like with me being spiritual, I'm always going through a lot of hurdles and hoops through life. But I think that's the reason that I do, is so I have something to write. Because I mean, if you have a boring life, you have nothing to write. There's nothing to even talk about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and fortunately for me, that is not the case. I always have something to write about. So I'm just gonna take time off of the writing, focus on the music, focus on the modeling, the family, getting everything in order. And then once I get everything in order, then I'm gonna write about it in my book and be the last
So
chapter.
so for any like upcoming like writers and authors and stuff like that, I know that like a lot of times, people be getting writer's block and stuff. So what are some things that you do when you get writer's block to kind of like free you away from that, kind of get your mind back on track where you need to be?
When I start experiencing with writer's block, I always go to a quiet place. Like I'll either go to the woods and take a hike, or I'll go to the park and let the kids play, and I'll get some peace and quiet by myself. Or like today, we went to the beach while the kids were playing. I was able to kind of gather my thoughts. With me having such a busy, chaotic life, I don't really have much time for my mind to catch up or grip anything. So I try to
Yeah.
take at least one day out of my week, usually on Sundays, to just kind of wind down and reset my mind and my body and my soul, so to
And
speak.
just like take
And it kind of
everything in and
helps keep
stuff.
everything, it kind of helps keep everything level. You don't have
Yeah.
writer's block, you don't have the mind fog. You're set. You got your weeks scheduled right where it needs to
Yeah.
be.
And I mean, and really that's good, you know what I'm saying? Because it keeps you occupied. Like they say, the idle's mind's the devil's playground. Like if you're busy, you're
Yes.
constantly doing stuff, like yeah, at the end of the day you're exhausted, but at the same time, at least you feel accomplished. You know what I mean? And you don't have
Yes.
time to dwell on so many things. Because whenever you just got so much alone time and shit, it's a lot, you know what I mean? Especially so
Yes.
so
But it's
so
also a
what
double-edged sword there, because if, like with me, where I have been going and going and going so long in my life and didn't take care of my mind, so to speak, you also will have your devil's playground there also. And that's what I'm trying to let people know. Like, I'm a huge advocate on suicide and mental health,
yeah,
because I don't know if you know or not, but 4 years ago, I tried to take my own life. So I'm
yeah,
a huge advocate on that. And you have to know when it's time to play and when it's time to be working, especially with your mind. There's
yeah,
times where, yes, you need to be going and going and going, but there's also times where you need to let your mind rest,
yeah,
because
for
you
sure.
get so burnt out that you don't even enjoy life anymore.
Yeah.
You
So
know what I mean? Like,
so
there's a,
so I'm glad that you brought up like suicide, mental health, and stuff like that. Because I also like struggle with that. I've used to do drugs and shit. I've been sober for like a year. You know what I mean? And like so this is something like that I kind of like deal with and stuff too. Because like with my music and shit, like it's real like organic about my life and shit. And I'll be like talking about real shit, like you were saying, like you gotta go through real
yep,
shit to be able to make. You know what I mean? And
you
and like
do.
this is something that I kind of be struggling with this shit because I be feeling like that, like my mental health problems and my depression and shit like that fuels my music, And I feel like, but it's like one of those things that it's like, if I didn't have mental health problems, then I probably wouldn't, my music wouldn't be as good. So it's like, do I,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like a gift and a curse because it's like you stress and you
It
deal
is.
with all this shit, but at the same time, it's like creates good art, and it's nice to be able to have people relate to
Yes.
what you feel and what you saying and shit like that.
Well, and at the end of the day, we have to remember, we cannot help others if we don't know how to help ourselves. If we don't know how to help ourselves get out of the depression and out of the funk, we can't help somebody else save their life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And people
or
forget
even
that. You
just love
cannot help
somebody.
somebody, right? Like, you can't do anything if you don't know how to
Yeah,
do it yourself.
yeah, like you can't even love somebody if you don't love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just like hurt
Absolutely
people.
not.
You don't think like you can't? You don't think you could love somebody else and not love yourself?
Right. Right. And it's
Yeah,
not real love if you don't love yourself. That's another thing
yeah.
too.
Well, yeah, that's exactly. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people like it's almost like you got to kind of face your demons and stuff. It's almost like in all them little superhero or like old kung fu movies, like the hero always
Hmm.
like goes off somewhere and like, you know what I mean, up in the mountains with little wise man and finds himself like on some Yoda shit. And then after that, he comes back and then he's the superhero that he always was. You know what I mean? It's almost like you got to
Right,
face your
exactly.
demons. You got to, accept things. You know what I mean?
And
For sure.
sometimes you have to get away. Like for me, where I was stuck in Ohio all my life, my whole family's been stuck in Ohio. Nobody's ever left home state. Nobody's ever left the family roots. Um,
Yeah.
that was another thing I struggled with. I did not want to, but God made no way but to. So I had no choice but to uproot. But when
Yeah.
you do stuff like that, you realize how much more strength you really have. Because
Hmm.
you think you can't, but you can.
Yeah.
And then once you
And
realize you can, you realize you go further and further and further.
yeah, exactly. And it's also, I feel like you said, like whenever you stay where you grew up at and stuff, you're like, it's hard to grow. You know what I mean? It really is because
Yeah, you're stuck. You're
for
in a sinkhole. You're in a sinkhole.
and it's not only just because of like the surroundings, because you're in the same town or same whatever, but it's just like the people, like they don't want to accept the new you. You know what I mean? They want to just remind you of the
They
old
don't want to
you. So
watch
it's
you grow. They don't want to watch you
yeah,
glow. They want you to be stuck where they're stuck at. I've
exactly.
dealt with a lot of people here lately that have turned their backs on me. And for the longest time it hurt, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? You all didn't even love me and respect me to begin with. You would have never
Yeah,
switched up. You would have never switched lanes on me. You were just
yeah,
here for the ride.
exactly.
And
Like
I tell
people,
everybody, it's always going to fade. They're always going to divide. The real are always going to stay and remain.
yeah, like people,
Always.
the loyalty ends where the benefits stop. You know.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, this queen has learned enough and made enough mistakes that I don't take no shit no more.
Yeah,
I have absolutely no bullshit toleration at all.
for sure, for sure. So, so basically, like, before we wrap it up, what do you can go ahead and just touch on anything that you want to touch on, talk about anything you want to talk about, shout out anybody, like basically like the floor is yours to just do what you want with it,
Well, I definitely want to shout out to you, because you're my
I
favorite fan.
appreciate it. I
And I really
appreciate it.
love and support everything you do.
I
You don't get
appreciate it.
enough credibility. Honestly,
I
you
know.
don't.
I know.
But
But I
I do
appreciate
appreciate it. And I do. I see you growing and glowing every day. The
it.
whole worldwide fam, y'all know I love you. Love you bunches. One for you all. I wouldn't even be halfway near where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Um, my LFG fam and everybody that's involved with my music, my modeling, my family, my life. I love y'all. That's all I got. Love, peace, and
So I
harmony.
well, whenever you do get in the studio and you do start whenever you do get in the studio and you do start dropping them songs and stuff, um, you have to come back, you know what I mean, and talk to us again. Let us know about future dates, future projects. Also, before we wrap it up, is there any upcoming shows or events coming up, or any places
Yes,
that
we
people
have the
can perform at?
don't forget we got the 420 bash coming up in Grayson, Kentucky. With Stormy Lee and Kelsey Lynn and the whole crew.
Yeah, I
It's going
seen
to
the
be a 3 day
flyer.
event. It's going to be crazy. And I'm so freaking excited to rock out with them. I cannot wait.
That's dope.
It's April 19th through the 21st. I will perform the last day, the 21st.
That's what's up. That's dope. Yeah, I forgot that 420 is coming up. I gotta try to find me some for 420 too. But that's dope though. So so that's out in Kentucky. You said Kentucky?
Yes. And it's
Is it
going
like
to
a
be hosted by
festival?
Chris Offroad.
Yeah, I seen
It's
the
a
flyer.
off-road event.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
It's
That's
hosted
dope.
by Chris Offroad and Side Hustle's involved. Um, Jeremy Jeremy Wayne is involved also. Um, he's the one putting it all together. Huge shout out to y'all. I love you, everybody, y'all. All the
Yeah.
artists that will be performing. I'm so excited to rock out with you, and I cannot wait to celebrate 420 with y'all.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. All right, so like I said, you'll have to come back, whenever the projects start dropping and let us know the dates and stuff, you know what I mean? And be sure to
Absolutely.
send your songs in. And even whenever you come on here, if you want, because I'm gonna start doing like this kind of like almost like remember like the VH1 behind the music type shit. I'm gonna start doing
Mm-hmm.
something like that where I'm gonna have the artists come on and talk about the songs as we play them. You know what I'm saying? Like tell a little
Okay.
story behind the song. So we could do something like that too
Okay.
whenever your project starts dropping. But I appreciate you being on here. Like I said, anytime you want to come on here, just let me know and we'll make it happen. You know.
Alrighty, I
So much
appreciate it.
stuff.
Always love.
Yo.